All right, thank you all so much for watching this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a absentee owner high equity list. With that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into it. What I like to do is, of course, I would have searched either the city that I'm going to be making the list from, or I would do a zip code so I could actually check to see what zip codes actually work out the best. But for the purposes of this video, to make sure that things are simplified, I'll go ahead and choose a city. So I'll go ahead and put in Houston. All right, so now, and of course, this is Propstream. So you'll go on that search bar, you type in Houston, and it'll pull up, as you can see here, 957,328 houses, right? That's what it pulled up if you just straight up put in Houston. Now, I'll go onto the filters tab, and from there, I'll start off by this section here. These are the search options. And what you'll do is you'll go in here and create all of these different filters to get the exact information that you're actually looking for. So because it's an absentee owner, where it says owner occupied, I'll say no. All right. And then from there, if it says occupancy status, I'll put any, because just because the owner isn't living there, it could be a tenant, it could be whatever it is. So that's why I leave that as any. Now, under property characteristics, here I'll put residential. All right. And I want you to notice every time that you click something here, it's a live update on this side. So it went from 900 something and now it's 189,000, right? So on property types, I'll go under single family because that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for anything else here. We're putting single family. Now, in my area, I like to do at least 3 beds and at least 2 bathrooms, right? There's not a lot of homes that do 3 beds, 1 bath anymore as far as homes that are popular that sell quickly. So that's why I put that in. Square footage doesn't really matter as much unless there are certain criteria in your area that work the best. But in general, that's what I do. Next, the MLS status. I want something that is not on the market. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. Now, the reason why you don't want to leave it as any or yes is because if something's on the market, most likely there's going to be a lot of investors that are new, they don't know their numbers, and they'll overpay for properties, and it's a lot more competition. So you just want to stay away from that. So I went ahead and put no, right? And from there, next you go to owner info. I like to go ahead and put individual as well. The reason why you put individual here under this owner type is because I typically find it better to get properties that are under an individual's name rather than a corporation or a trust. It's just a lot easier to get in contact with that person. Not to say that it's impossible to leave it as all of these, but it's a lot easier to find, John Smith that's attached to this address rather than such and such LLC, because it's just a little bit more difficult to find that number. So being that this is a numbers game, just set yourself up for success and click that individual, right? And for number of years, it depends. Obviously, you typically don't want something to where someone has moved into or bought the house like a year ago because it might not be ready to sell. So I'll say about, at least, 5 to 7 years or so as a minimum. And that would narrow things down greatly. So again, looking on that side, you see how we started off at 900-something and now we're at 17,000. So we're getting that list narrowed down quite a bit, right? And I'll leave all these blank. Some people, they incorporate how many properties this person may own to see if they're an investor that has several properties. But to me, it doesn't matter because somebody could have one rental property and they're willing to sell that one rental property, right? You don't need to have a ton of properties to be willing to let go of one. So then next I would go into the equity, right, section. So in my market and our strategy, we tend to not want to get a home that's over 350,000 or 400,000 ARV. So I'll put in 400,000 on here as the max estimated value because it takes longer to sell these higher price homes in this area. So if you're watching this from a California or some other place, You may be like, what, 400,000, that's not going to buy a condo, right? But in Houston, at the time of this video, 400,000 is still considered a regular house. It's not a high-end home, and it's not a super cheap house either in this market. So we try to stay within the range of what sells quickly. So I'll do that, and I'll even narrow it down to where I'm not getting like super cheap houses. So I'll even go about 150,000 to 400,000, right? So again, narrowing it down, we're at about 15,000. All right. And now this is the part to where you're dealing with equity, right? So I like to be around at least 30 or 40% equity. So if you're putting in 40 here, then that's some type of wiggle room as far as equity, so that you know that there's some room for you to have some type of option. You could put in 30, you could put in 40. You don't want to do things like 70% or whatever, because a lot of times there's still some balance that's owed on these properties, but there's enough room on these properties to where you could actually make something happen. So don't go too high on this. Just remember that this is the lower end. So I'll go 40% and leave the rest of that open. And with that, this is what I have here, man. So you'll see on my search, it shows that it's someone that's not occupying the property that owns it. It's a residential property that's single family, at least 3 bed, at least 2 bath, not on the market. They've owned it for about 7 years or more. As an individual and not a corporation, the estimated value is between 150,000 to 400,000, and they have at least 40% equity in that property. So with that information, you'll be able to go in here and create your list and start marketing to it. All right. And if you guys found this information valuable at all, go ahead and like this video and be sure to subscribe. And if you would like more videos like this, and if you would want me to create a list that makes sense for you, just go ahead and let me know and I'll make it happen for you guys. Thank y'all so much, and I'll see you on the next one.